Good day traders, welcome to the RMDTRADER weekly market fix. Last week has been a bit of a mixed bag with the overall market still struggling with direction, also crypto markets still struggling to recover from their recent sell-off. So to kick off this week, let's have a look at some of the trade setups that we put out on Twitter, on Telegram, as well as our email newsletter last week. So there were 3 long trade setups. The first one was CADCHF JPY. The other one was on USD JPY, and then we also had one on Euro GBP, with the only short being on GBP NZD. Having a look at how they have played out, both the CADCHF JPY as well as USD JPY are still ranging and still in that entry zone, so we're still expecting a move to the upside towards those targets that we have highlighted. So pretty much the same for both of these, with both still trading just around about that daily 50 SMA, still in the entry zone, and we are waiting for a breakout higher towards our targets. Looking at the GBP NZD, which was the only short one for the week, we can see that this one actually started playing out nicely, started moving into profit. We have a pullback currently where we are trading just below the daily 200 SMA and also right below the new weekly pivot. So we'll have to see what price action brings us this week, but I do expect possible price rejection from this level, sending us towards our first target, which is also the monthly pivot at 1.932, and our full target, which would be somewhere below the monthly S1 and previous structure lows at about 1.896. Just to finally conclude, we also had a the Euro GBP long setup. This one also started working out very well. We had that initiation of the breakout above both the diagonal as well as that daily 200 SMA, which signals market phase 1 of our 5-phase trend evaluation method. Currently, we are seeing a retest of the breakout level. And obviously, we would like to see price remain at least above this red stop loss area, and obviously above the daily 100 SMA to see price starting to move upwards again. So as long as we can get price back above 0.853, the probability would of course be that there would be a high likelihood for us reaching both our first and second targets. Just a brief look now at cryptocurrencies. As I've mentioned last week, I expected Bitcoin to go and retest this daily 200 and 365 daily SMAs. And this is pretty much what we've seen happening. Currently, we're still seeing bearish price action right below that monthly S1. So I think we still have some downside, at least early in the week, towards this very crucial level of support at about 46,000. If this level do fail, there's a good chance that we'll see a test of this deeper level of support at 37,000. This is where we have our yearly R1. And in order to see some form of a pullback or recovery, I'd first like to see a move above last week's high at 51.9. And from there, there's a chance that we could then see a pullback towards the daily 50 SMA, which would of course act as resistance. So currently the trend is down, as you can see by looking at the 21 daily EMA, and we are still expecting some more downside at this stage. Moving to our commodities, gold is pretty much still ranging right on this important diagonal support. We haven't yet managed to get back above those moving averages, which is the daily 50, 100 and 200 SMAs, still trading below all of them. If of course we can see a break above that, which would be at about 1,793.95, that could then see us start moving higher, with price then trading above the daily 21 EMA, and we'll be aiming to achieve that 1,850 and 1,850 targets in the next 2 weeks, maybe still perhaps before the end of the year. Looking at our indices, the NASDAQ has made quite a good comeback with that very bullish bar on Tuesday, and we have not yet taken out the right shoulders. So technically, this head and shoulders pattern is not being invalidated as yet. It is starting to look bullish again, with price trading above the 21 daily EMA, and with that 21 daily EMA also pointing upwards. But of course, as long as we stay below the right shoulder at 16,450, which is also last week's high, there is still that probability for the downside continuation. I think a break below 16.1 would of course trigger that. That's also the weekly pivot, and then I have that full target still at our monthly S2 pivot at 15,290. If we do see a break above last week's high, we will have some strong resistance from the previous all-time high at about 16,760. Looking at some of our other Forex pairs, we also had the CADCHF that we've previously identified as a potential short setup. We can see our price moved into this target area, got rejected from a daily 100 SMA, currently making its way lower towards our full target at 0.709 and already reaching our first target at 0.722. We also have a short setup on GBPCAD. We had a price on Tuesday break below the diagonal. And as I mentioned, we have this monthly S2 target at 1.654. So if price can show us any kind of rejection from that daily 50 SMA, that could send price lower towards that target. Just briefly also looking at the AUDUSD. The AUDUSD is trading below the daily 21 EMA. Daily 21 EMA still pointing down. So overall, the trend is still down, and I suspect we could expect some more downside. We just barely reached that entry zone, and I'm seeing some potential for a bit of a deeper pullback towards that monthly pivot, perhaps at 0.723. That will really give us a good risk reward opportunity to get short in this market with a full target at 0.694. And then let's conclude by looking at the EURUSD and GBPUSD. EURUSD also stalled in that downward trend, and we are currently consolidating in this little symmetrical triangle with some rejection from this level at 1.134. So if we break below the diagonal and the 1.124 level, I suspect we'll get this target of our yearly S1 pivot, which is also the target of this double top formation that we previously had, and that could see that target being realized. And something on the GBPUSD, which is very similar, is this head and shoulders pattern, of course, which we had with the target at 1.288, which is the December S2 monthly pivot. It remains to be seen if we will still reach this target by the end of this year, but for now, trend is still down, and we might still see a slight of a pullback towards that daily 21 EMA, but any rejection from this 1.331 level could see the move to the downside continued. That concludes this week's Market Fix. Remember to check back next week for the final Market Fix video of 2021. Until next time, we wish you all the best with your trading. Remember, trade smart and trade successful.